Hey guys, how goes it? It is time to do another process video. This one's in relation to my Secret Santa swap, so let me pull a couple things here. I had grabbed just one of my usual card bases to work through. This is from like a alcohol ink series that I picked up at Michael's a while back. Um, so we'll use that for the base, I think. I had some pattern paper that came in my swap, but I can't for the life of me find it, so I'm sure it'll turn up 5 minutes after I finish doing this project. But I'm going to start out with this dog set from MFT because I really like some of the sentiments and the dogs are super cute. But I actually forgot to cut a panel, so let's do that relatively quickly. Just from my favorite Bristol reused cardstock from Canson. I've been really liking this lately. And since I got a lot of ink in the kit, I'm thinking I'm gonna stamp with Memento, color in the dog because I have this pale pink tri-blend. I think will work for like the inside of the ears and the tongue. Then I'm thinking to use this yellow one that I have yet to open, but we'll be opening right now. Hooray! So I have this yellow, does it say what this is? Citrus blend. So I think that'll be good for the dog. And then I got a whole bunch of ink, so I'm thinking I'll do a forest green for a base here, and then use this Memento Bahama blue for the blue. So I think what I'm going to do is just sort of ink blend a little bit of that out to start with. Of course, I don't know where my Misty went to, and I do like to ink blend on it, but we may make it an exception. Oh, here we go. Organizing my desk is always such a potentially an item that is fraught with some level of disaster because I'm like, I knew where that was 5 minutes ago, and now I don't. So let's see. We'll need a green and a blue blending brush. And I know how to have both, and I see 0 of those. Which means it's probably over here on the side somewhere. Or maybe not. Purple, brown, green. I wonder if it fell down. Anyway, let me... Well, this is a green. Something to be investigated another time. Anyway, so going to try green and blue. These are new inks to me. Let's just... Well, we can use the correct scissors and open this guy up. So this first ink isn't one I'm familiar with. Well, I should say, like, this is the Altenew mixed media ink, but I actually haven't ever used any of the Altenew inks. So our not being able to find our blending brushes might actually work out in our favor here, because I really just want to do, oh neat, this is definitely a pigment ink, but I just want to put in sort of a grassy area. So I'm going to do a light and then a little, just keep doing a little darker right at the edge, and just like that. It's very cool. I have a whole bunch of distressed oxides, but I really don't use them very often for whatever reason. Uh, Probably that I just get very comfortable with Catherine Pooler everything. So this I'm liking the look at. It's a very nice, like, subtle blue, subtle green. Like it's very grassy. So and it comes out fairly opaque. For this Memento Bahama Blue, which is a really blue, I'm just taking a little bit. Let's see if we can't just work in a little bit of a sky. I kind of want to keep the center lighter. This is quite a vibrant ink, but I don't know. Like every time every time I get sort of this kind of an ink look, I actually kind of like it because it's it sort of feels very like a cloudy, fun day. I don't know if where you all hail from, but in sort of this area of the northern Midwest, it always seems to be sort of a nice kind of a vibe. We did get a little blue here. Let's see if we can't cover it, because in theory, one of the benefits of like these pigment inks, oh, there we go, is you can just go back in, and because it's going to sit more on the surface, you can get some coverage. And here we just sort of like overdid that a little bit. I was thinking also that if I have a green colored pencil, we could just sort of like sketch in a little sort of grass pattern here. This is not part of the swap, but this is just sort of, I have lots of Prismacolors, but just to add a little more, I don't know, visual interest on top. And if it gets a little much, we can always go back in. I think I will, to go back in with the forest green and just sort of blend it out a little bit. To sort of make it more, yeah, I like that. With it just on top, it was a little much, but I think we're good in terms of our background. So I will let that dry, get any additional ink off of here, because step next is basically to get a dog in. I have some, I don't know if you've been watching my Valentine's Day shorts, but there's going to be a bunch more of them because the last week was kind of crazy, and a lot of stuff didn't get done, and that's not always a bad thing, but I think what we want is, I will just, my card, I'm going to sort of put this at about 5 inches on the right side. I don't know. I really like this dog. I've used him or her a few times. Just sort of ground the dog a bit. And let's see. Let's go with You're Amazing. We could put that up sort of in the clouds, I think. Because we're going to... It'll sort of balance the space. Because I actually really like how the ink blending came out. So, I mean, I think leaving sort of the ink blending the way it is will be good. We won't really need to color the sentiment much. I'm going to grab some Memento because we are going to color the dog, and I definitely would prefer if we don't have any bleeding on the dog. I'm just going to rub this a little with my Memento ink. You can always come back in again as needed. Sticking with some fairly light pressure. That came out pretty great, actually. Just tap it out a little bit. Thinking it again won't hurt, but actually, like, this is I got a pretty good impression the first time. There is that. And we do have a little greenish, so I'm not sure how this yellow, how the citrus and the green will play together, but I guess we're gonna find out. Um, then I think we can take just the pale pink and do. He doesn't have his tongue out, so maybe we do his nose and just the inside of this ear. I think the inside of the ear being like a pale pink will work pretty well. Uh, Let me just make sure that our ink is dry before I start trying to do things with it. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to. I don't know if I explained these last time. So you have like a light, a medium, and a dark. So this is pink 1 through 3. So I'm just going to take the lightest one, which is 1. And I'm going to be a little careful around his ear, or her ear, I guess. I'm just going to go like that. I think I'm going to do the primary bits of the dog in just the light shade. I think with the sort of the muzzle, I haven't decided if I want to. I guess I'll do it all in the lightest citrus here, and then come back in and maybe not the nose. I feel like the nose should be black, but um, this is, and then sort of come back in and see if I want to do it in a, where I might want to do a little darker color. I'm actually really liking this particular color, so I don't think I'll be quite as crazy as I was originally thinking. I think I'm going to come in and do the muzzle again in the medium tone. Then I'm going to even a dark, because this is reading sort of the same color. Yeah, I'm just gonna come back in. That looks good. I'm gonna come back in with something black for the nose, I think. This is just a fine liner, but use whatever you have. And I think that's just looking absolutely cute. See how we feel about it. I do kind of like that. I like that the ink sort of highlights this, but this is just sort of I guess I'd call this just sort of more in the cute style when it comes to card things. Just gonna grab out some. This EdTech glue runner is still one of my favorites. I did get some 1/4 inch tape for my ATG gun, so once I'm done with the 1/2 inch, I think I'm going to use that because it seems like it gives you a lot more precision. Because this one is also a 1/4 inch, so I will just press that, and I think we were good. So thanks for checking this out. This is coming to Instagram near you, but if you're more interested in seeing how the card was made and what supplies I used, thanks for checking out the video. Talk to you later.